Hi, and welcome. We're joined by Cindy Nixon. She's actually running for the secretary position heading into the Republican state convention here in Georgia. Cindy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. It's a pleasure, and I thank you for inviting me.
Well, tell us, what part of the state are you from and what congressional district does that belong to?
Well, I live in Gwinnett County in Peachtree Corners to be exact, and I'm in the 4th congressional district, which is we're changed, and so it's just a little bit of Gwinnett County and most of DeKalb. So it's been a little
Okay.
bit challenging.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. The struggle is real, isn't it? I'm
That's
telling you.
right. That's for
We
sure.
have a couple of those down in our area too. Um, we always make a point at Editorial Interchange of highlighting local economies,
Mhm.
and we love to give a shout out to a locally owned business in the area. Can you give us a local business that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, I'm very excited to share. It's called Tide Tate Kitchen, and it's owned by some dear friends of ours. And if you love Thai food, it's the restaurant to go to. They have 2 locations, and it's just phenomenal. They're a young couple, and they just really work hard, and they're doing quite well. And we're very proud of them. And it's great food.
Awesome. Well, if you're hungry and you're in the area, go see them. Thanks,
That's
Cindy.
right.
Hey, you're heading into state convention. You're running for the secretarial position. Tell us about yourself and how you got involved in state politics.
Well, it was really in 2016 that I started, and it was we were just watching our country slowly go down, and my sister and I were very concerned about it. And then when President Trump came down the famous escalators, we heard his power, his strength, his love for the country, and coming from a business perspective rather than the attorney perspective, we just said, "That's it. We're going full force with this." So we supported him. We made 80,000 phone calls for him, and we just really campaigned hard. And so that's what kind of prompted me into getting into politics. And then as the campaigning, a friend of mine suggested that I run for secretary for the Gwinnett County Republican Party. And I thought, well, okay, sure. And the funny thing about that story is that I said, well, okay. I said, but now I'm not going to have to make any speeches, am I? And he said, "Oh, no, not at all." And I said, "I'm not going to have to get up in front of people, am I?" And he said, "Oh, no, not at all." And then here I am now. So he owes me one.
Hey, you're doing fabulous. Don't worry about a thing. Hey, tell us, what skill set do you bring to the position that you think will help the Georgia Republican Party?
Well, my background, I'm a registered nurse and have been for nearly 50 years. So of course, serving is my passion and helping people. But then I'm also a kind of a lean toward a type A personality. So I'm very organized, very meticulous in keeping my records straight and organized. And I just feel that right now, the Georgia Republican Party is in need of somebody in the secretarial role with those skills. Because I don't know if you've heard, but there's been no communication with the delegates and with the board. And so I just feel with my skills of being able to bring people together, help them get organized, is what the party needs.
And is the secretary's position, is that one where you're working closely with the staff there at the Georgia Republican Party, where you're doing a lot of interchange with staff to organize things, maybe help with the communication channels and stuff like that that you spoke about?
Well, that's interesting you asked that because right now I don't think that's what's going on. And I think that's one of the problems. So that's what I would want to do. Beside doing the agenda and the minutes, that's kind of a given for the secretary role. But I do want to expand out the role into more communication. And if that means working with the staff down at the headquarters, I would love it. I would love it because I think we really desperately need that communication.
Awesome. Hey, personal note, tell us about the most influential person in your life.
Well, I'd have to say, Jesus Christ is my savior. I mean, that is what's guiding me. My faith in Jesus is what's getting me through all this. I mean, this whole journey has been an experience, but he's given me such a peace about it. And then I would have to say my immediate family, my parents and my sister, because we're very close. My parents have passed away, but we were very, very close. And I just really looked up to them, and they really taught me about life and the world. And I miss them very much, and my sister too.
So many people mention their parents. It's great. Give us a most cherished childhood memory.
Oh, that's a good one. I had so many. I think I don't know if I really could pinpoint one, but I would just have to say the time that I spent with my parents. I look back and every day something happens, a thunderstorm or something, and it reminds me of my parents and it just brings a smile to my face. So I would just have to say the time that I was with my parents.
Were there any activities that you all did as a family that, were memorable that stuck out?
Well, my dad traveled a lot, so just having him come home, or when he was on trip, he traveled to overseas to Europe quite a bit. So just receiving postcards from him and saying, "Oh, I was in Rome today," or "I was in Tokyo today," that was always looking, for the mailbox. And then, of course, with him being out of town a lot, I was close with with my mother, and of course, we, just tagging along with her shopping, and she was very much into antiques, so stopping by an antique store and going into the back shelves to look for something priceless. It was a lot of fun and just very cherished memories.
So, did you catch the bug? Are you an antique person?
I am. Our house is still filled with antiques. Yes, yes, love it. There's nothing like it. I mean, give me an antique over, IKEA anytime.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Hey, give us some areas where you think that the party needs to improve at the state level.
Well, that is a great question because being kind of a newbie on this political run, what I have been surprised about is the anger and the hostility that's going on in this campaign. So I'm beginning to kind of see, well, is this why the Republicans are our own worst enemy? That we can't get together? Now, I understand we're always going to have disagreements, but we're supposed to get together and say my opinion. Well, I don't really agree with you. Let's, compromise. So I really think, and I know we say it all the time, oh, we have to pull together, oh, kumbaya, that kind of thing. But somebody's got to step up and pull us together because I think there's much too much division in nationally as well as in Georgia.
Is there an area where you think that the state party is really doing it right?
Well, they did it right getting President Trump elected. I mean, they did come out with that Trump Force 47, which was awesome. Now we did win by only 115,000 votes, which is good. He won, but at the same time, with as big as Georgia is, I keep thinking when I hear that number, I keep thinking, oh, Georgia should have had a lot more than just 115,000. But I think Trump Force 47 was a really big asset and we may need to duplicate going into the 26 elections.
Well, let me ask you this since you're from Gwinnett. You have the largest Hispanic population of all the counties. There's a very significant Asian population there. Is the party doing any kind of cross cultural outreach to solicit their votes?
Well, yes, there are some groups that are getting out there and doing a really fabulous job. But my thing about that is that we can't wait to the election and say, okay, let's go out into the communities and knock on doors and say, hi, I'm a Republican. Don't you want to be one too? We've got to start developing those relationships now to show really who the Republicans are and that we're not what the Democrats say that we are. So there are some good groups, but they need support. They need help. And I think they need it from the state level to help them get out and do that more.
Yeah, the relationships are so important. I remember there was a African American family that I've known very long time, and they used to say, "We know there's an election coming because that's when the politician shows up at our church, and we never see them until they're ready up for election again
Exactly.
the next
Exactly.
cycle."
I totally
And
understand that.
yeah, it just comes off so phony, doesn't it?
It
So,
does. It really
so
does. And they see that. They
yeah.
read right through it. I mean, it's and so that is one big thing we do need to correct.
Well, hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can do that. Um, what do you expect from Republican elected officials as a Republican voter and as a party member and possibly a party official here at the state level?
Mhm.
What do you expect when you elect somebody who says they're a Republican?
I expect them to be well, first of all, I expect them to be true to their word and true to what they signed the paper when they said, I am a Republican. And that would mean staying true to their word, staying honest, holding the principles of the Republican Party and the Constitution and what our forefathers intended for our country and our state to be. So I, I worry about those that want to flip and become the rhinos. So that's where we would have to step in and say, that's not enough. So honesty, true to our principles, true to our Constitution.
We're heading into the midterms. A lot at stake. There's just such thin margins in the Senate
Yes.
and in the House. What would you consider, just from the state party's perspective,
Mhm.
what would you consider success heading into the midterms? If you accomplish these one or two things, what would they be? What would you consider a success?
Well, I think obviously getting Ossoff out of the office and getting a good Republican in there. But I really wish we could increase our margins and not have it so razor thin, because I think we need to have enough Republicans in there so to make up for those few rhinos that may flip. I just worry about that, 51-50 kind of thing. So I think electing a wider majority of Republicans in there to give us that cushion in case those rhinos do flip.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we all know through social media and various other channels that the chairman's race has been a little tribal. Um, I've asked every candidate this question. Do you side with one candidate for chairman or the other, or are you neutral in all of this?
I say I'm Switzerland. I
Okay.
am neutral, and I have been so from day one, because I just feel that I'm running for secretary, and so I want people to get to know me for me, not because I signed that NDA that everybody's talking about, or that I'm leaning toward one candidate or the other candidate. Because my thing is, if I do have the honor of serving as secretary, I will support whoever the delegates elect. So I have stayed totally neutral on that.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there anything in this interview that we haven't already discussed that you want the viewers to know and the delegates to know about you?
Well, I think I would just want them to get to know me, get to know what I can offer. Now, granted, I don't have the long 30-year list of political resume, but I have new ideas. I have fresh ideas. And so I think bringing somebody kind of new into the arena might kind of jolt the party a little bit and kind of move them ahead. So I just hope people would get to know me and what my merits are and what I can offer to the position, and give me the opportunity to serve as the secretary. It'd be an honor.
What do you have any campaign platform out there on the internet or on Facebook or anything like that? How can people find what you're doing?
Well, I do have a Facebook, but I'm drawing a complete blank but I do have a Facebook, but I'm drawing a complete blank of it.
What name do you have your Facebook under? Is it under
It's
Cindy
Cindy
or
Nixon.
Cindiella?
It's
Cin-
Cindy, Cindie
oh,
Nixon.
okay, so if you put in Cindy Nixon in the search, you know what she looks like. So when her picture comes up, you'll know that's her. That's how you find her. Um, any other things you want to add before we close?
I think you covered it, Steve, and it's just a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for this opportunity to get my message out there. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll be in Dalton.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you in June.
Thank you, Steve. Take care now. Bye bye.
Goodbye. We hope you enjoy that interview with Cindy Nixon, who's running for secretary for the state party. And look, if you would, please, if you know any delegates, share this video as well as the other videos with all the people running for those various state offices. We'd really appreciate it, and you'd be doing the delegates a favor. So please like, share, and subscribe if you would, please. That's what keeps us going, and that's what makes the numbers work, and it helps us get more interviews. So thank you, and we'll see you next time around.